And we're here to do Erased episode 9 review. And I know it's been a while since I've jumped on in a review and one episode to jump back in on, especially because I definitely called something that happened really early on in the episode. But we start off the episode with the confrontation between Satoru, Miss Fujinama, and Kaio versus Kaio's mom. And Kaio's mom is literally insane. Like, I am convinced she's insane. Not only was she about to strike her own daughter, this lady picked up a fighting shovel and swung it at Miss Fujinama like a crazy person.
Yeah.
But this is where it comes into play where I called it, because it was definitely a setup between Satoru's mom and Yashiro, between the conversation they had about, oh, this is gonna go down at 7 o'clock and we're gonna do this. That's kind of what I figured it was, because I was just like, okay, what else could they be planning together that she would like relay all this information to Yashiro?
We find out that the mom actually was abused herself, which is why she was reflecting the abuse back on her child. The grandmother comes and takes Hayo into her custody, but we have this moment with the mom where she breaks down in front of the grandmother. And it was kind of sad. You know, you think this mom is like such a villain and she's such a bad person, but you kind of feel sorry for her at least a little bit. Like, I gained a little sympathy, not empathy, but I gained a little sympathy for her.
Yeah, I thought that was crazy, because I was just like, wow, this is actually a tear-jerking moment for a character that I've hated since the moment I met her.
So after Hayo is safely secured and away with her grandmother, we move on to the next plot, which is Satoru basically saving the rest of the victims from the murder. And at this point, I don't know if it's obvious to anyone else, but I'm 110% sure it is the teacher, for various reasons in the episode. First of all, this man is just always there at the right opportunity. Like, he's just always around. We're seeing too much of him. And that car scene when his mom and when Satoru and his mom was walking back from the supermarket was just too awkward. Why do you have a glove box full of candy?
He said it was for him to quit smoking, and I was just like, that's a good cover story. It still seems a bit too convenient. Like, that was an abundance of candy.
It's definitely the teacher, because that's what he's doing to attract these children. Or it's just too weird. And the fact that he asked Satoru, hey, about the hideout, where was the hideout at? Where'd you guys keep Hayo? And when they went to the hideout, all the stuff was gone. It's just too coincidental that all that happened with Satoru telling him that information.
That feeds into his theory of it being the teacher, because I'm only 50-50 on the teacher. My other suspect is Yuki's dad, and especially as another thing that happened in this episode, it was like real quick, but when he was talking about Aya, the second victim, he was saying that she was often seen with Yuki. And I think that Yuki's dad did it and framed Yuki because it was just like, that's the closest person to you, the easiest person to frame. He already hangs around kids, so everybody would believe he would kill a bunch of kids. So it's just like, I feel like Yuki's covering for his dad at that point because he cares so much about his dad, even though he probably knows his dad is doing all these messed up things. I just feel like that's who the strongest suspect is, in my opinion.
Another point to support that's actually a good theory though, I like that. But to support my theory, in the original timeline, Satoru's mom was targeted because she originally knew the killer. She knew something about the killer. Even when they were at the supermarket, she made eye contact with the killer. And that scene was just so profound, because we know it's somebody she knows very well. And obviously from him going back in time, we see her and the teacher kind of have this sort of connection there. So I think at that point, that's what she wanted to tell Satoru, that I think it's your teacher, but she didn't know how to tell him because of how close Satoru and the teacher were.
Yeah, in this episode, they definitely say, like, they make it seem like Yashiro is more of like the father-like type figure to Satoru, even though we haven't been getting that as a lead-up, but it's like this episode was where it was just like, he's giving him advice about girls, and he's just like, just talking to him like on a real level, and I'm just like, okay, I can understand why she wouldn't want to reveal that information, because it would kind of like, it would crush him, because it was just like, that's someone he was close to.
Exactly. So it had to be somebody she knew. Well, in the original timeline, like I said earlier, the original killer was somebody the mom knew. That's why she was targeted. And now he's trying to blame Satoru all of a sudden for killing his mom. And we know the killer watches people, and he plans murders on people based off of their interactions and this and that. So I'm just convinced it was a teacher.
Yeah, like I said, I'm 50-50 between the teacher and Yuki's dad. Only because, like he said, the mom had to have known them. So she knows Yuki's dad if his son is hanging around with some like 20-year-old. So it's just like, I'm pretty sure she would have known his dad and been able to recognize him pretty easily. But it's just like both of ours have strong evidence on both sides. I just feel the teacher is like the obvious choice because it's just like, okay, yeah, candy in the car. Obviously, that's a pedophile tendency at first sight, but...
That's some freaky stuff. Honestly, though, if I was a child and you had some Reese's, I'd probably be kidnapped every time because that candy is something else when you're a kid. And honestly, before we close this video out, can we all just appreciate how smart Kenya really is? That man is very perceptive. Like, this man is like genius level smart. To perceive all this as an adolescent child.
He picks up on stuff really fast. Even when Satoru is starting to try to defend the other victims, he's like, Satoru, like, what are you doing? Kaio's safe, but you're still working even harder than before. Because now he's trying to keep up with two people. He's studying Aya's schedule, trying to hang out with Hiromi every chance he gets. And he's just like, all right, you switch gears now, but I'm picking up and I just want to help you. And I'm like, okay, Kenya's not the killer because obviously by this point, he's just like ride or die. Like, this dude is just like, dude, I don't care what you're doing, but I want to help you because I don't want to feel responsible if something happens that I could have helped prevent. And I feel like that's really cool character development-wise for Kenya.
Exactly. Well, guys, that's it for this review/reaction for Erase today, episode 9. Check back with us for episode 10 because this series gets better and better every single episode.
I just want to leave this video saying, guys, we're at episode 9 now. 10, 11, 12. Just 3 more episodes left. There's only 3. That is sad.
I know.
I'm just going to leave that how you take that word for what it is.
I wish it could go on longer, but we'll see.
But yeah, guys, until next time, like, comment, subscribe. Peace.